Hello, Kanika. How are you?
Hello.
Hello, how are you?
Hi, how are you?
Good, good.
Yeah, so let's start with the session. So today we'll complete the lab portions. Okay. So just need to. So we have completed the VPC, all the theoretical part. Okay. All the theory we have seen. Now first we will see the VPC web server demo. Like how can we connect three things? Okay. First of all, creating a VPC, connecting that VPC with subnet, so creating the subnets, then connecting it with internet gateway, and then creating its route table. Okay. Then after creating all these things, we have to check using our Windows server I am taking right now. Using a Windows server, we have to check whether we are able to connect to internet or not using the VPC. First lab, we will see this. Second lab, in this we will see NAT gateway. Okay, so in this we will create two VPCs. One is public VPC and private VPC. And what we will going to do using this public VPC, we have to access the public VPC and send the request to the internet. So the next one we will see is this one. And the third lab we will see is about NACL. How NACL provides security to the complete VPC. Okay. These three labs, because we have seen the demo of theory of this part, NAT gateway theory we have seen, and NACL theory we have seen, right? So I'm not including the peering concept. Okay, we have a lab on peering also. That includes both transited peering and normal peering. But you have said you don't want that lab, so I'm not including it. After that, we have fourth lab. That we will see later because I don't think that we'll be able to complete that lab today. It is just the lab of VPN connection lab. Okay, so VPN connection, I'll see that maybe we'll be able to complete it by today. Else only VPN connection lab will be left. Okay, so hopefully we'll complete all these three today. And if the time permits, we will go with the VPN lab also. Okay. Hello.
Got it.
Clear?
Yeah, I'm gonna be on mute, but yeah, I can test you by Zoom.
Unmute yourself when you need to ask the questions. Okay. Great. So let's start with the lab portion. Okay, so this is the lab. We will see VPC demo. Okay, so first thing what we have to do, we have to create a VPC. So first today we'll learn how to create VPC using the Amazon console. So first of all, we need to go to the AWS services. Just click on the services. See, VPN is used for networking. Okay, so you will find the VPN services in the networking and content delivery. So here you will find the option of VPC. Go and connect with the VPC. Then now you will be able to see this page. Now I'll explain you what this page is trying to say. They say that you already have one VPC in Tokyo. So I told you they create a default VPC. So one default VPC is already created. Now you can see there are 3 subnets already created. Now, because we are working in the Tokyo region, Tokyo has 3 different availability zones. So for each availability zone, they have created a subnet. So for 3 availability zones, we have 3 different subnets. Then they have created a one default route table. Means they are already provided you by the internet. One default gateway they have created. Right? All these things now you can see. VPC, subnet, route table, and internet gateway. These 4 things are very much important when we talk about VPC connectivity. So one more thing to notice here, that depending on the region, which region you are in, you can change the, like if you are in London and only 2 availability zones are there, so there will be only 2 subnets. So now you have to create your own subnet, so that first of all, first step that we have to follow is creating a VPC. So we will go on this option, your VPC option, inside the VPC dashboard. Now you can see here already one VPC is available. This one VPC is already available. This VPC is known as default VPC. Now we have to create our own VPC. So for creating our own VPC, what we have to do, we first of all see the document of VPC. In this you will get to know multiple things. Already we have covered a huge theory, but still you want to see more theory part, you can just go on this page of AWS documentation, AWS VPC, and you will find all the theory here. So first of all, we have to just now create our VPC. So just click, this is the default one, right? Now we have to just click on create VPC, and using the new VPC that we will be creating will be a customized VPC. So you will, as soon as you click on create VPC, you will find name tag. First read this, what it is saying. A VPC is isolated portion of AWS cloud populated by AWS objects such as Amazon EC2 instances. You must specify IPv4 range for VPC, specify IPv4 address range as classless inter-domain routing. I told you this is the CIDR block. The full form of CIDR block is classless inter-domain routing. Okay, like this is the CIDR 16/16. You cannot specify an IPv4 CIDR block larger than 16. So more than 16 you can't specify. We have discussed in theory. You can optionally associate a Amazon provided IPv4 CIDR block with the VPC. Now what we have to do, we have to connect this EC2 instance with the VPC. So first of all, we have to create a VPC for us. So here the process of creating a VPC. So you have to give it some name. So I'm giving the name as my VPC. You have to create a CIDR block. This is the IP address we are giving. But with this IP address is not valid until you specify how many subnets you want. So /16 subnets we are providing here. No VPC 6 we don't want. And tenancy is either default or dedicated. Dedicated will charge you. Okay. So just read this, what they are saying. Be clear with every option you are selecting. You can run instances in your VPC in single tenant dedicated hardware. Select dedicated to ensure that instances launches in this VPC are dedicated tenancy instances regardless of the tenancy attribute specified to launch. Select default to ensure that the instance launched in this VPC use the tenancy attribute at launch. Means either you can use a dedicated one or a default one. Dedicated one will provide you extra security, but they will charge you for it. Okay, but in default one, services will be same, but they will not charge, and this VPC is not customized for you. Okay, they will not provide a dedicated hardware for you. Means you will not get a separate isolated hardware, but in the dedicated one, you will, this is the complete database, data center. And if you choose the dedicated one, they will create a separate dedicated hardware in which only your VPC will run. But in case of default, inside the same data center, anywhere they will provide you a space and you can run your VPC. So now select the default one. And just create it. So now it's creating your VPC. So see, your first VPC has been created. Now check the availability things. So its CIDR is 10.0.016. Tenancy is default. Now CIDR block associated is this one. Now we have to create the second step after creating a VPC is creating a subnet. So first thing we have done is VPC creation and our VPC name is my VPC. Now the second step that we need to do is to create a subnet. Okay. So for creating a subnet, we will go on this option of subnets. Now as soon as you open it, you will see that there are already 3 subnets available. As we have discussed, these subnets are the default ones. Now we have to create our own subnet. Just create a subnet, give it a name, create new, and you have to attach to which VPC you want the subnet. See now what happens. We have multiple VPCs in our system, VPC 1, VPC 2, and the default one. Okay. Now if you're creating a subnet, I told you need to connect a subnet with a VPC. So say this is your VPC that you want to connect the subnet. So you have to specify that to which subnet, to which VPC you want to connect the subnet. Okay, similar thing we are doing here. We are creating a subnet and we are attaching it the VPC we have to use. So this is my VPC that we have just created. We have to attach a subnet inside this my VPC. Go step by step and understand why this process we are doing. So now my VPC is created. Now we are creating a subnet and we are saying I want this subnet inside my VPC. So we have given, see, they already given you the CIDR of that VPC. Now we have to specify in which availability zone we want. So just select any of the availability zone of your preference, right? And IPv4 CIDR block we have to give. Means now we have given this one. If we talk, this is the CIDR of VPC. means the IP address of the VPC. Now we have to give the CIDR block for the subnet. In the diagram we have seen, we are creating a VPC. VPC our VPC has a CIDR of this. Then inside this we create a subnet, and that subnet also has some CIDR block. So now the CIDR block that we have to take, we will specify here for the subnet. So we will take this as a CIDR block for the subnet. Now here in the VPC, the default last value is that you can only take 16. But inside the subnet, you can take till 28. 28 subnets you can create. By default, I'm creating 24, but till 28, you can create the subnets inside the CIDR block of subnet. Now just create the subnet. See, your subnet is created. So this is your subnet that you have created right now, which is attached to this VPC. Now, if you see the detailings, these are the detailings of this subnet. Now we have what we have done till now is we have created a VPC. Second, we have created a subnet, right? And we have attached this subnet with the VPC. So if you see in the bigger box, this is your VPC, my VPC. And inside that, you have just created a subnet. Now the third step that we need to do is to create an internet gateway. Why we are creating the internet gateway? So that we can access the internet through this internet gateway. So just click on here, the option will be the internet gateways. Just go to this option and select. Now you will see an internet gateway. Just create an internet gateway for you. Say VPC internet gateway you are creating. Now it is created. Now see, this is still detached. Means it is not yet attached to any of the VPC yet. You have just created a gateway, but it is not attached to any of the VPC. So first thing you need to do, you have to see this the diagram. You have created a VPC, my VPC, right? Now you have created a internet gateway here, right? Now you have to attach this internet gateway with my VPC. So we will just connect it with our. So you have to just select it, okay, and just attach to VPC. Now to which VPC you want to attach, you have to specify that to my VPC I have to attach, and now you can see the status here and it is saying it is attached. So now if you see the diagram, my VPC is created. We have created an internet gateway which is attached to it, and we have a subnet here. Now what we have, after creating the internet gateways, what we have to do, we have to create a routing table. So if you see the flow, first of all, you have to create a VPC, then you have to create a subnet, then you have to create an internet gateway, then you have to create the routing table. So now we will go to the routing tables option. Now default routing tables are available here, but we have to create our own. So just create your own VPC routing tables, VPC route we are creating, and attach to my VPC. This is important. So your routing table is attached to my VPC. This is your default, but here you can see one option here that already we have a VPC, sorry, the routing table, default routing table, right, which is already attached to the my VPC. So instead of creating our own, what we can do, we can directly use this default one. Okay. So just delete this one, the one we have created, and you can use the default one also. So now you have to edit the routing table, right? In the subnets, you have to select which subnet you want to connect. So the subnet that we have created, subnet new, we have to attach this routing table with the subnet. We have talked in the theory lectures that to every subnet, this is a subnet, to every subnet there should be a routing table. So similar step we are doing right now. We are creating the routing table for the subnet that we have created in my VPC having an internet gateway. So now all the information about the subnet, to which location or destination they can target, what are their targets, what are their destinations, how many packets they can send, all this information about this subnet will be in the this routing table. Okay. So we have to specify to which subnet it should be associated. So we are associating with the subnet new, which is created in my VPC. And see the current routing table. It is the main routing table. Another type of routing table we talked is custom routing table. But here we are creating the table which is the main routing table. I hope the theory part and practical part is very much interlinked to you. What I have taught in theory, similar thing we are doing in practical, nothing new.
No, it's nothing new. I just
Yeah, everything is similar. Just I'm showing you how they actually work together.
okay.
In the theory and performing in practical, there are two different things. So we have learned everything in the theoretical part. Now I'm just showing you how these will be connected together and how they will perform together. Okay.
Okay.
So we have to create the subnet. We have attached the routing table with the subnet. Now you can see this is the routing table we have. We have a local attached to it. Now we can add some more rules to it. So we are saying that from anywhere, if anything comes, destination means anywhere 000, we will attach an internet gateway to it. Okay. So we are creating an internet. This will be a public subnet now because we are attaching a internet gateway to this table. So now what happens? This is my VPC. This is our internet gateway. And this is our subnet routing table we have created. Inside this routing table, we have said that any local packets can be sent, any local request can be made, and it can be successfully accessed. Else, any traffic which is coming from the internet can be also be sent and received through this subnet. So we are connecting this subnet with this internet gateway now. So anything which is going inside the internet, okay, that can be requested and can be received. Both can be done. So we have added this inside the routing table. So now both the status are active. Now we will just go to your VPC. Now in VPC, we can check this is your VPC. For accessing this VPC, you have to create. Now see, the main part is done. What are the steps we have done? We have created a VPC. Okay, this is our VPC has been created. My VPC. Okay, internet gateway we have applied here. A subnet has been created. And this subnet is a type of public subnet because it is connected to internet gateway. We have created its routing table here. Okay. Now what we have to do to access this VPC, we have to create a EC2 instance. We have to create a machine through which we can connect this VPC. So now we will create an EC2 machine and connect the VPC and subnet to this EC2 instance. So now just launch an instance. We are creating an instance T2 micro. Now see, instance we are taking one, and here the default one is selected, but you have to select my VPC now. The one you have created, subnet, the new subnet that you have created, and public IP you have to assign, any public IP you have for your VPC, the internet gateway that you have selected. So public IP we have seen as enable, means any public IP can access this EC2 instance on the internet. Okay. Now just add a tag VPC server. We are creating a VPC server. Okay. And just create, if you want to create a security group, you can create a security group here. So VPC security group we are creating here. Now see, RDP means remote access desktop. Now we have to, we can easily remotely access this. So from anywhere we can access because it is public. And now you can just choose a security key pair, create a new key pair for it. Download the key pair, VPC pair we have created. Everything is same in creation of EC2 rather than connecting it with the EC2. So now we are creating an EC2 instance. Okay, we have created an EC2 instance. In this EC2 instance, what we have a VPC, we have a subnet, and using this VPC and subnet, through this we can access the internet. And from internet, anyone can come and access our EC2 instance. It is like a website, you can say. This is a Google website we are creating, or any of the website we are creating. Now, because we have applied VPC and subnet in this, now we can go to internet and download and upload anything, right? And from the internet, anybody can come and see our website. Okay, this process we are doing. So our EC2 instance is getting created. Now it is running. The status is running of our EC2 instance. Now we have to connect it and run the server in the Windows. So just check and go to VPC. Okay, we have created a VPC. Now we will see, this is very much important, this documentation I want to show you. See, VPC with a single public subnet. Right now we are dealing with this. What we are doing, we are creating a single public subnet. So we have created a public subnet, right? This is a public subnet inside a VPC, right? This can access internet, S3 bucket, DynamoDB, SNS, SQS. This can access anything that is in the power of these services. So we have created a VPC. Inside this, we have created a subnet which is public. Now this subnet can access all these services. So your instance run in private isolated section of AWS cloud with direct access to the internet. So we now what we have, direct access to internet. Network access control lists and security groups can be used to provide strict control over inbound and outbound network traffic for your instance. But you can apply multiple securities on both inbound and outbound of the data using security groups, right? So we have created a /16 network and /24 subnet. Public subnet instance use elastic pairs or public IPs to access the internet. Now, this public subnet will access the internet either using two things. One is either they will use their elastic IP or the public IP. Okay, so this practical we are doing right now. Okay. The next practical that we can see, there are multiple organizations which want multiple uses of VPC. Some will require single public subnet, some will require a public subnet and a private subnet. So see, this is the another example you can take, VPC with public and private subnet. Now we will create two subnets. One will be public subnet and another will be the private subnet inside a single VPC. Then we will connect a NAT gateway with the public subnet. Okay, and using this NAT gateway, we can access the internet for the private subnet. We have clearly understand the concept of NAT gateway. This practical can be followed using this. Okay, so in addition to containing a public subnet, this configuration adds a private subnet whose instances are not addressable from the internet. Means nobody on the internet knows that this private subnet exists. Okay, instances in the private subnet can be established outboard connections to the internet via public subnet using NAT gateway. But if any outbound connections they want to send any request to the internet, how this can send the same request using the NAT gateway. Clear? This is a second practical you can use and do using VPC. We have covered everything there. Now this is the third practical that you can do, which include VPC with public subnet, private subnet and hardware VPN access. Here you will apply a VPN also. This I will show you in VPN lab. Okay, now using this VPN, what you can do, similar thing you have created in the previous practical. Now you can just attach a VPN and attach a corporate data center here. Now in this, what will happen? People can come and access your website, right, through the internet. But they will not be able to see your corporate data center, means the data that your company is maintaining for this website. Okay, this is secure because we have connected a VPN security here. So how to create this, that we can discuss in this lab. So this configuration adds IPsec virtual private cloud, that is VPN connection between Amazon VPC and data center, effectively extending your data center to the cloud by providing direct access to the internet for public subnet. And now your data, this data center is also on cloud. It is on cloud, but it is protected through VPN. But this, your data center is now connected with VPC website also. So directly what you can do, your website can send the real-time data to the data center as well as fetch the real-time data from the data center. Getting it? Hello?
Yeah, I'm here.
Yeah, you are getting it? See, these.
Yeah, I mean, it's
you will face.
I have been practicing in the lab for some time, so I understand everything you say.
Okay. So, see, just let me know if everything you are understanding and anything you want to ask. Okay. So these are the extra labs. Means any company have different requirements. So they can use different ways to use the VPC according to their needs, according to their real-time requirements. So this we have discussed. Now this one is VPC with private subnet only and hardware VPN. So now we only have a private subnet, okay, and a VPN. So no internet connection is there. Means you want that there you will provide all the data on the cloud. Your data is on the cloud, your website is on the cloud, your complete data is on the cloud, which is protected by VPN, but still nobody from the internet can access this data. In such situation, what you can do, your instance runs in private, isolated section of AWS cloud with a private subnet whose instances are not addressable from the internet. You can connect the private subnet to cooperate the data center via VPN tunnel. Okay, so you want that nobody can access your data and as well as your data centers. So you can just keep it in the private one and connect the VPN with it. So these are the various real-time situations in which VPC can be configured. Now just go to EC2 instance. This is the EC2 instance we are running. Now and check is it working or not. It is going to internet or not. So desktop, choose a file, the key pair that we have downloaded. So VPC pair we have, decrypt the password, similar process and close. And just connect it with the remote and apply the password. Okay. Similar connectivity with the Windows server. But now what new things we have? We have a VPC server as well as subnets with us. So now it is connecting with the Windows server. And this is your public subnet. Just remember, this is your public subnet. Anybody on the internet can see your public subnet. Now just check, is it connecting it with the internet or not? Now this is your complete website running. Now see, a private IP is given here. This is your IP. Now just go to command prompt. Okay. And just try to access internet from the command prompt. So write ping 8.8.8.8. This is used to access the internet. So now you can see, as soon as you write ping 8.8 to internet, they will show you the status that it is running. Reply from internet byte 32 are getting transferred in 4 milliseconds, right? Send pack, how many packets are sent? See how many packets are sent, 4 packets are sent, 4 packets are received. Means if sent, you can check if sent is equals to receive. Means you are sending the data request to the internet and in return internet is sending you the same request again. Means it is connected with the internet. Loss is 0%. Okay. So now what we have done, we have created an EC2 instance. Right? Inside this EC2 instance, we have created a web server. Okay. Now this inside this web server, we have created inside a subnet. Right? Inside a network. This is a complete network we have created for an organization. Now, and this organization has given this complete network to the VPC security. Now, this security is provided by the AWS cloud, that you are now inside a virtual private cloud. This is your own company running on internet. So you can consider it as a company that is running on inside the cloud. Okay. And this now can access to the internet. So from this web server, anyone can go to the internet and request from the internet can be accessed. You can perform this example and write anything like www.google.com. So they will show you the status. They will directly open the google.com for you. All these things you can do here. So now we have completed the VPC demo practical. Okay. Now see just one thing more. This we have done, creating the VPC subnet internet gateway routing table, Windows server connecting to internet. Any doubt in this practical?
No.
Yeah, everything is clear? Great.
Yeah.
So now we will work with the NAT gateway. Okay. Now what we will do, we will create a NAT, we will create a public IP, public subnet. We will create a private subnet. Inside this, we will create a NAT gateway. And using that NAT gateway, first we will create a web server. Okay, in this web server, this internet is already enabled, but now we want that this internet can access this private cloud also. So we will connect this NAT gateway with this private, and everything that is in private can be accessed on internet. So this system we will create now. So we will start with NAT gateway. We have seen already why NAT gateway is used, when NAT gateway is used, all these concepts in the theoretical part. Now we will just apply it in the practical world. So just see, this is the diagram, just follow this diagram first of all. If you are able to create this diagram, you will halfway to your destination towards the VPC. So first of all, see, we have created an AWS account. Inside that we have a VPC. Okay, now inside that VPC we will create a public subnet and a private subnet. Okay, first we will do such these things, then we will see what else we can do. Now we are very familiar like how to create a VPC, how to create a subnet, okay, all these things. This is the complete view with that we will create using the AWS cloud. So now go to the VPC, create your own VPC here. See, this is the default one that is available. You can create your own VPC, say VPC1 you are creating, give it the CIDR blocks and just create it. Okay, now you have created your VPC. Now create some subnets. So two subnets we have to create. First will be the public subnet and the private subnet. These are the already default ones. So let's create a subnet. Give a name tag for C. First of all, we will create our public subnet. So give it a name. Connect it with the VPC you want to connect. So we are connecting it with VPC1. Already we will get the CIDR of that VPC. And give the CIDR block for the subnet, public subnet. So now our public subnet is being created. You can see the public subnet is created. Now we have to create another subnet that will be our private subnet. So just give it a name as private subnet. Connect it with the VPC, VPC1, and provide a CIDR block to it. Okay, so two subnets are ready. One is public subnet and another is private subnet. Now we have to give the internet gateway. So now create an internet gateway for them. So I'm creating an internet gateway for the VPC 1. So just create it. So now it is detached, connect it to the VPC. So attached to VPC, which VPC? The VPC 1 that we have created. So now it is attached. Now subnets have been created. 2 subnets we have. Now what we have to do? We have to connect this public subnet. Okay. Now till here everything is clear, I hope. See, let me show you.
Yeah, everything is.
See the diagram again.
Yeah.
What we have done till now, we have created a VPC. Inside this VPC, we have created a public subnet and a private. Okay. Now we will create routing tables for both of them. One is for the public subnet and another one will be for the private subnet. Okay. Clear?
Yes. Let me get him. Can I get him mute?
Now the routing tables one. So just this is the default one we have right now. Now we will create our own table. So these are the routing tables we will connect for this and for this. One will be for public and another one will be for private. So just give a name. So for first of all, we are creating for the public one. So just connect it with the VPC and a routing table will be created. So now we have a routing table for public route. Create another routing table for the private route. For the private subnet, create another one. So just connect it with the VPC and now create. So now you can see we have 2 routing tables. One is public routing table and private routing table. Now connect public routing table with the subnet. So we will select for public route because it is public. So we will select public net and connecting the public subnet with the routing table. So now it is associated. Now adding the routings. Now we will add the internet gateway also. So from anywhere on the internet, anybody can access this public subnet. So we will connect an internet gateway here. So if we recall everything again, what we have done, we have created a public subnet. We have attached that public subnet with the routing table. In the routing table, we have specified that it should be accessed from the gateway also. All the 3 things we have done now. So our public subnet is ready. So see, our public route is ready. Now we will do the similar things with the private routing table. So associate a subnet with it. So we will associate a private subnet to it. So go on the routes. We don't want to edit the routes because we know that we just want it from the local because it's the private. We don't want it to access from the internet. So we are not adding any routes because it's a private subnet. Now we have seen the subnets has been created, public private subnet and their routing tables. Now we have to create EC2 instances. Okay, now see, if you observe, our VPC is ready, our public subnet is ready, our private subnet is ready. Okay, their routing tables are ready. Now what we want a hardware to access it. So we are creating a server on the EC2 instance for both public and private subnets. Okay, so using these servers, we will be able to access this network. Public network with this EC2 instance, private network with this EC2 instance, and we have connected an internet gateway. So just create a EC2 instance. So similar process of selecting an EC2 instance, you can choose, but you have to specify to which VPC you have to connect. So VPC1 we have to connect. To which subnet you have to connect. So I'm connecting it with the either public or private. I'm connecting it with the private subnet. So this EC2 instance belongs to the private subnet. Now disable the public IP because we don't want public IP in the private subnet, because we don't want anybody to access our private network. So public IP, auto assign of public IP is disabled here. In public subnet, we will enable this option because we know that we can able to access everything on the internet using the public subnet, but because it is a private subnet, so we need to disable this option. Now just create it. If you want to add the rules, now add the rules here. First of all, the three simple rules for to connect it to internet: RDP, HTTP, and HTTPS. From anywhere they can access. Now just create a new key pair for it, for the private one. So for private key, I'm creating. Download the key. So now our EC2 instance has been created for the private subnet. So now we will create another EC2 instance for the public subnet. Similar process will be same. So connect the VPC. Now instead of private subnet, we will select the public subnet. And we will enable the auto assign of the IP. And just add tags now if you want. Security groups, RDP we want, remote access, HTTP we want, HTTPS we want, from anywhere, or we can access it from anywhere, any sources. Now just create a new key pair for this, or select the same key pair that you have created for the private one, the private key. Now your two EC2 instances are running on. Okay, you can check the two EC2 instances are running. But one thing you can observe it here, that here in the public IP section, this one has a public IP, but this one doesn't have. So we can conclude that this is our public subnet and this is our private subnet. Okay. Now select, just give them the names as public and another one as private. So both EC2 instances are running now. Now first of all, we will take the public one and connect it with the web server. So just go with the private one first and download remote desktop file. The similar steps we will follow. Nothing change will be there. But now we have two running with us. So what we have discussed earlier, that we are creating using the public subnet we want that we can access the private subnet. So we will first connect with the public server. So connect it with, because we are using Windows machine, so we will have a Windows server right now. So just download the remote desktop file, generate the password, choose the key pair, private key we have just decrypt the password, copy the password, right? See, username here is the administrator. Okay, so just connect it with the Windows server, provide the password, and now it is connecting you to the Windows server. So now see the diagram here. What they are trying to explain us, that we are inside the AWS. We have a public VPC created. We have a public subnet created, right? We have its routing table with us. We have specified the internet gateway also. Now we have created a web server here. Okay, this web server we have created right now. So that we can access the internet using this web server. Now the public subnet is still remaining. We have to check for the public subnet how we can connect. Now this is our public subnet, public web server that is running. Okay. Now we have using the we are now inside. We are inside a public subnet. Now using this public subnet, we want to open the EC2 instance of our private subnet. Okay, so what we will do, we will go on the remote desktop. We will go on remote desktop connectivity. Which computer you want to access? We want to access our private subnet now. So we will click on private subnet and we will check all the things we have. This is the private IP of our public subnet. So we will just connect. Okay, you have sent me something.
Oh yeah. It is a question that I'm dealing with.
A user has created a VPC with the public. A user has created a VPC. A user has created a VPC with the public and private subnet using VPC wizard. Okay, the VPC has CIDR this. The public subnet users CID this. The user is planning to host a web server in the public subnet. Okay, and database server in the private subnet. Okay, the user is configuring a security group for the public subnet and private subnet. Which of the mentioned below entry is required in the private subnet database security group? So see what they're trying to say. If I could just a minute. Okay, this is the question you are saying. So we have a VPC. It has two subnets. Okay, private subnet and a public subnet. Okay, So the user created VPC, private and public. A VPC has CID at this. This is the CID of VPC 20.0.0.0/16. In the private, in the public one has 20.0.1.0/24. And the user is planning to host a web server in the public subnet. So they have created an EC2 instance and hosted a web server here on port number 80. Okay, add a database server. You can set a DynamoDB server in the private subnet on port number 3306. The user is configuring a security group for the public subnet. Now this has a security group, okay, and its name is web security group, okay, and this private one has a security group called DB security group. Which of the below mentioned entries is required in the public subnet database security group? So now they are asking you that which you need to allow in the private subnet database so that they can access your private subnet data security group. So options are allow inbound on port 306 and source web server security group. This is not required. All inbound. On inbound means that we are trying to take the data inside the private subnet. So from the source VPC, okay, all outbound, give which of the below mentioned entries is required in the private subnet database security group. So we have to allow all the outbounds on port this of destination web server, web security groups, uh, database security group we want, right? And all outbound ports of destination net. So see, these options we require. First of all, we have to allow the NAT instance. Okay. Then we have to allow inbounds of ports from the source. This one, security groups, and web security group and web security group we don't want because these web security groups are from the public subnet. So if you see the clear diagram of it, so we have what was the name of this DB server I got, DB server and web server. Here we have a database in the public. We have a subnet here, which is a public subnet, and this is a private subnet. Okay, we have a connectivity with this, okay, with this server and with this server, right? And this has a database running, and that this public has web server running. Okay, so now according to the question, they are asking that if anybody wants to access your database through the private server, okay, which rules should they allow? So first we want an inbound rule that we can access the inbound functions, that everybody is allowed to our database server is allowed to send the data to the private one, and another that from the internet anybody can access our database server. So you need to create such scenarios and understand what they're asking for. So they have specified that they're asking for the public one or the private one. So they are saying which of the below mentioned entries is required in the public subnet database security group. So they are strictly talking about the security group.
Mm-hmm.
So they are asking only about this security group. What options it should allow? So it should allow inbound rule and the outbound rule. And what?
By the unbound rule.
Okay, so all inbound on port number 3306 for source web security groups, all allow inbounds on port number 3306 for sources of this one. This inbound is first inbound is allowed, and for the outbound you have to go with the destination word. So excluding the question number, option number first, and net instance IP. We have not created any net instance, destination net instance right now, no. So only 3 will be required. So is this a multi choice option?
No, I don't.
So
I'm not sure.
okay. So see, always remember whenever they talk about the security group, they're talking about private security group. So earlier also I told you that if you want that anybody from the outside world should come and enter your security group, you have to allow some rules, right? So you have to allow the inbound rule and the outbound rule. So in this way, you have to select the options. Getting it? Making sense to you?
So what will be the answer?
Yeah, the answers for this one. See, the answers are 3 answers we can have, but it depends on the most priority one. If they're asking for the first option, means only one you have to select. Then you have to ask for the NAT gateway. So allow inbound on port number 3006 for source web security group not required. The second one we have, I'm writing in the chat box only the options that we require to handle. Inbound for the source and port 80.
The port 3306 is the port that is used for
Public
database.
Private IP.
Right?
Private IP. 3306.
Okay. And port 80?
Port 80 is for the public subnet. So these I'm sending you. This you require. So you can say this private has 3306 I think so, and this has 80 IP. So we just want the inbounds from this IP. And if we create a NAT gateway here, so this NAT gateway will be able to access this internet. So it should allow this security groups.
Got it.
Clear? Let's with the lab. Okay, now what we were doing, we have created a public subnet. Okay, and we have created a web server for this. Now using this public web server, we have to want to access the private web server. Okay, so we are using the remote. We will allow the options to which computer you want to access. We want to access to the private web server. So we will specify it here. So this is the IP of the private one. Username is always administrator, remember it. And the private, the password will be, that is of the, you have to decrypt for the private one. You should know the password of it also, because without the password, they will not allow you. See, they will give you that login failed. You need to decrypt the password. So go in the public one. This is your private one. Go and connect to instance. Decrypt the password of the private one. This password you have to paste there. So just give the password, and now you are connected to the private subnet, private web server. From public to private, you are there. Now they are creating your private subnet. Now search for the command prompt and check is this private subnet able to connect with the internet or not. Now you are inside the private one. Check if this private is able to connect with the internet or not. See, it has no public IP, it has only private IP. So now our aim is to check whether this private web server is able to connect with internet or not. So just say ping to 8.8.8.8 dash minus t terminal. Now check. So we are trying to connect with the internet. So request timeout, you can see. Again, request timeout means they are not able to connect with the internet yet. So what we have to do? We know that we have created a system like this. We have created a public IP here, public subnet. We are having a private subnet. This public subnet has an internet gateway access, right? So it can easily connect to the internet. But this private subnet is not having any internet connection. So that's why it is showing you the timeout that no, this public IP cannot be able to connect with the internet. Getting it? So now what we have to do, so to allow this private subnet so that it can access the internet, we have to create a NAT gateway here. So now we will create a NAT gateway using which they will be able to connect with the private one. So now we will close this. Now aim is to create inside a VPC, we have to create a NAT gateway. So in VPC, go in the VPC and down you will see an option of NAT gateways. Create a NAT gateway. For which subnet you want to create a NAT gateway? For the public subnet. Always remember, a NAT gateway is always created for the public subnet. It is for the private subnet, no doubt it is for the private subnet, but it is created in the public subnet. It is working for the private subnet, but it is created inside the public subnet. So now we will create a NAT gateway inside the public subnet so that the private subnet can access to the internet. So now we have connected now we need, see, whenever you create a NAT gateway, it will require an elastic IP. Okay. So now we don't have an elastic IP, so just create a new elastic IP address. Just click on create new and they will create it for you, a NAT gateway. Now our NAT gateway is created, it's getting created. Now you can go to the routing tables. In the private routing table, you can go to routes, edit the routes, add 0 0.0 from anywhere, target NAT gateway. So this NAT gateway we have created, attach it with in the private routing table and save the route. Now what we have done till here is we are providing this private subnet with the internet using the NAT gateway which is in the public subnet. So we have in the routing table of the private subnet, we are inbound the rule of the NAT gateway now. Earlier it was having as a local destination that only the people having up its private IP can access this public subnet. Now we are connected with the NAT gateway. So now it's getting, the status is still pending. Let it work. So now we are inside. See, till here the timeout is here. We are not able to connect with the internet till now. As soon as NAT gateway is ready, we will be able to connect with the internet. See, just wait a minute. Still it is pending. Just refresh it. As soon as the NAT gateway interacts and it connected with the private subnet, they will allow us to access to the internet. So now it is available, NAT gateway is available with us. Let's check, is it allowing us to access the internet? Now see, as soon as the NAT gateway is allowed, we're able to connect with the internet from our private subnet. Clear? This practical is clear. Now just delete everything that created. Don't ever stop, close your AWS account without deleting everything. Okay. So now this lab we have completed. NAT gateway, public IP, and how we can connect our public private subnet with the internet using the NAT gateway. Now we will see the lab for NACL. Okay, so it will provide security to the complete VPC. So now it comes with the security purpose. See, now we will implement this part of the new lab. that will be NaCl lab. How we can attach NaCl to a VPC. See, now we have learned how to create a VPC. We have learned how to create internet gateway. Okay, we know how to create a router, the routing tables. We have created subnets, subnet 1, subnet 2, both public and private. We have seen how to create. We have seen. Now, after seeing all this, we need some security, right? So for security purpose, we will create network ACLs, okay? So that we can specify for inside each routing table that who are able to access my subnets, right? So it is always allowed on subnets. So to secure our subnets, we create NACLs, and to secure our instances, okay, we create security groups that we have seen in when we are seeing the differences. I will show you the documentation also in this, so you'll be able to get it more clearly. So VPC we have, internet gateway we have, the routing table we have, both the routing tables for subnet 1, subnet 2. These are the two subnets, and these are the instances of the subnets. And these are the security groups for the subnets. So now this includes about the security of subnet. Then we will see for the security of the instances. So let's start. First of all, see the documentation. This is very much important. So, because mainly all the questions you will get in your exam will be from these documentations only. I've covered everything, but still you just go through it. That Amazon Virtual Private Cloud provides features that you can use to increase and monitor the security of your VPC. So one is security groups, and another one is network access
A0
and the flow logs.
and flow logs.
Flow logs, see, actually these are just the information who are accessing your instances or from which IP the request has been made. So it's like just a logs for you. So I told you security groups acts as a firewalls for the EC2 instances. Network ACL acts as a firewall for the subnets, right? Controlling both inbounds and outbounds of the traffics, right? So these two we will study, security groups and network access control mainly, which act for the security of our VPC. Because nowadays security concepts are very much in demand because everybody wants to protect the data. So these two are the important ones when we concept about VPC security. So now you can see the difference here, the same difference I told you, that it operates on instance level, subnet level, supports allow rules, deny rules, everything is similar. It is stateful, it is stateless. I have covered complete documentation, that the official documentation they can ask from. But still, if you want to refer to these documents, you can just go and have a read on it.
Mm.
These are the similar things we have discussed in the theory lecture.
Okay.
So we evaluate all the rules before deciding whether to allow all the traffics. Stateful, stateless, I told you what they are. So now we will just focus right now on the network ACL one, because we know how to create easily to create a security group and attach, because with every EC2 instance, we can attach a security group. That is not an issue. But how to create a network ACL, that is important. Now, these are the network ACLs. So these are the basics about network ACL. We have discussed all of them. Now these are the rules. See, these rules you need to understand. In network default network ACL we have. So rule 100 is allowed. For the inbound rule, 100 and 101 is here. So all these things comes under the NACL department. So let's create a VPC first. So simply I'm just creating a VPC here. Give it any name you want to give. VC1 we are creating with the CID of block 16. The VPC has been created. Now we have to create the subnets, similar process. Creating a subnets. First we'll create a public subnet and attach it with VPC1. Then we will create a IPv4 CIDR block for the subnet.
Mm-hmm.
We have internet gateway. Internet gateway is also created now. I think this all these things are clear, right?
Yeah.
Just attach this internet gateway with the VPC. Now creating the route tables, the route table for the public subnet. Attached with the VPC. The route table is also created. Public subnet. Subnet associated with it. Attach the subnet. So now this routing table has the subnet. Now edit and attach the internet gateway to it in the public subnet. This internet gateway we have created right now. Similar one, attach it. Now close. So our routing table is also ready. Go to network ACL now. The main part. We already have default ones, right? Now we will create our own network ACL. So in network ACL, just say I want a custom, my own custom ACL for VPC 1. Now what they will ask you, this is your VPC, NACL ready. Select it. This, see, now it is not associated with any subnet, so we have to associate it with some subnet. So subnet association we will do. Now we will edit and associate it with this subnet, the public subnet we have created. Now it is attached with this subnet. So now it is attached to the subnet that is the public one, and it is for VPC1. So our NACL is ready. So let's see what all we have done. So we have created a VPC. Inside that VPC, we have created a subnet. We have created a subnet, say subnet, which is a public subnet, right? We have created a routing table for this subnet, right? We have created an internet gateway for this VPC. And now the new thing that we have done is we have created a NACL for it now, and we have attached this NACL with this public subnet. So now the routing table is connected. This routing table is connected with the internet gateway. Okay, clear? Making sense?
Yep, it makes sense. I know how to do it.
Yeah, okay. So no doubts, right? Till here?
Oh,
Great. So we have just select the inbound rules, that from where inbounds are allowed. So rule number 100 we are adding, RDP rule we are adding, and just save it. So we have an inbound from all traffics, and now for outbound we are selecting from HTTP 80 server, can anybody can come, from 200 rule anybody can come, rule number 200. Okay, we have selected. Just RDP, all the rules inbound are selected, outbounds are selected, and these are the outbound rules that we have selected for the NACL. Now we have to create an EC2 instance to access this. So we will just go, see, till here, if you see, we have completed this part. NACL is creating, routing table is ready, we have only created one NACL, so routing table is ready. Now the security group is there, and now we have to create this instance part so that we can access this. We have to create a web server. This architecture is ready. Now we have to access the instance part here. So now you can see, launch the instance. Okay, we have created the UGP security groups. Now we will create a security groups for it. So security group we have created. See, EC2 instance part is very much similar to you. So simple EC2 we are creating. So now we have an EC2 instance running. Just connect it with the server and check if the NACL layer is working or not. So get the password, create a key. Okay, decrypt the password, copy the password to the clipboard. Now it is empty. So now we have a routing table, we have network ACL, we have a security group, and we have a EC2 instance. Oh, this layer is complete. So now the outboard rule for the connection of TCP, we have to create from which port range we want. From any of these port range we can access the internet. Okay, any of them you can allow for the outbound rules. And now we have all these outbound rules for this NSL connection. Now create, just open this EC2, connect it with the server. So now just select and try to pin to internet www.google.com. Okay, so they are saying Internet Explorer security, the page cannot be displayed because we have applied the security of NACL right now. Now just go and to the VPC. Go to the network ACL and select the custom ACL and inbound rules and outbound rules. We have selected these ports, right? So now because we have allowed all these rules, we have to edit an inbound rule here that at this rule number, we can access to the ports number of this. This is the port number for all the Google websites. Okay, so we are trying to access the Google, so we have to set the inbound rule also. Now the inbound rule has exists. Now try to access the Google website. So from our system, we are trying to access the Google. So see, now we are able to access the Google. Earlier it was not because we have not allowed the inbound rule. Anybody from Google can access us, but we can't go and access until and unless we specify the inbound rule. See, now we have selected for the Facebook website. So in this way, you can connect to the inbound rules, enabling the outbound rules. You can provide a security to all for the websites you want to access. You want your customer to access the websites or not. Okay. And the subnet association is also required. So you can edit the subnets also. How many subnets you want inside the NACL. So inside an NACL, you can have multiple subnet groups. Making sense to you now?
Yes.
through it again. So we have seen that using NaCl we can restrict our network access. So in companies, what you see, there is a scenario that there is a computer. Okay, inside a large company, there are multiple departments. So what happens? These all have the internet connections. Okay, everybody can access to the internet. Okay, in a company. But what the main administrator of the company does, they allow some inbound and outbound rules on every system. That okay, this system which is under the administration one, they'll only be able to access the Google. They'll not be able to access any other websites like Facebook, Instagram, or these websites. So what they can do, they set inbound rules. Okay, for the port number of Googles, I will provide them, and they can only access them. In the next one, financial ones, they can specify. Okay, they can access the Google, but using Google, they can only be able to access the financial websites. No other websites they can access. So what they're doing, they're restricting you providing extra security to the company, as well as saving time. How saving time? Because if the person who is working on the system is not able to waste the internet on useless things, so they will use the laptop and internet system and the internet for the benefits of the company. So in this way, restrictions can be done by adding NaCl securities. Getting it?
Mm-hmm.
So any doubt you have regarding these three practicals?
No, like everything is. I understand because I've been practicing in the console.
Yeah. So connectivity of all the three different NaCl, NAT gateway, and VPC is clear. Now another topic that we need to start is VPN connection. So I'm sharing you I'm sharing the sheet. See, you can see the Excel sheet right now. So we have completed till here. This is also done for today. Okay, now we are having only one thing left, that is VPN connections. Okay, so we have completed our tomorrow we will complete our 6 hours. Okay, 1 hour lecture I require for the VPN and completion of this. Okay, so in next 1 hour we will be able to complete this.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so next we have to start with this sessions. So our 22 hours will be complete till here. Okay. So if we go down, now 6 hours we have to deduct, and we have I think so total hours we need 30. Earlier we have completed, so we require more hours to complete these parts. Okay, so if we complete VPN on time, we can start with the EBS part. Okay.
Okay.
We'll
So
start.
tomorrow we're gonna do 1 hour.
No, tomorrow we'll do 2 hours only. Okay, because we have to continue, right?
Wait, how many hours we have left?
See, from 22 hours left, we are only having 1 hour.
Because the fact is that I'm short in money, so yeah. I'm gonna be able to pay the next 22 hours this month.
Yeah, see, this 1 hour is still left, in which we will tomorrow complete, and another from Tomorrow only we'll start with the another 22 hours.
Yeah, but at the thing, I don't have the money for the 22 hours, the next 22 hours.
Okay, so till when you will be able to pay?
I'm not sure. I know this is not, it's not gonna be this month. So I might let you know.
Okay, just let me know if you want to continue with the sessions. Tomorrow we'll go with the VPN connection labs. Okay, and then you can just select the topics if you want it for less hours and we'll able to pay the money. Then we'll continue. Okay. Just
Yeah. So let's do like tomorrow the hour that we have left.
okay.
Um and I will let you know like in WhatsApp, like hey, I got the money so we can continue.
Yeah.
Because right now I'm nah, I can.
Okay. Tomorrow we'll continue with the 1 hour session of the VPN connection labs, and I'll
Yeah.
complete the VPN lab completely with the concepts of VPN and VPC endpoints. Okay.
Okay, so tomorrow we're gonna do VPN.
Yeah,
Oh,
VPN, and hopefully we complete all the things that are left in the VPC concepts.
okay. So VPC, CloudHub, VPN, side-to-side VPN. Are we gonna cover direct connect?
Sorry.
Are we going to cover direct connect?
No, no, no. We're not able to complete that one in this.
Because they ask a lot of they ask a lot of questions in the test about
Just let me.
direct connect and side-to-side VPN.
Yeah, just let me know the topics that you are going through and that needs more focus. So we will do more labs on them and more theories on them. Okay, just send me a text on the WhatsApp related to the topic you are talking about. I'll take
Okay,
it away and we will include that in the lab portion only.
right. Okay.
Okay, so yeah, let's, and no doubts you have till now.
No, no, I don't have any doubt.
Okay, so let's meet tomorrow. I'll inform you either we'll take 9 to 10 or 8 to 9 because it's only 1 hour. Okay.
Yeah, 8 to 9 is it's good.
Yeah, I'll try at 8 to 9 because it will be continuous session, no? So yeah, I'll inform you in the WhatsApp. Okay.
Oh, okay, got it.
Yeah, thank you. Have a great
Thank you, Kanika. Have a nice day.